Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Greg, your co-host to the Grilling to Get Away podcast. I'm here with my buddy.
What's happening, everyone? This is Ben.
Ben, happy Tuesday, man.
Tuesday.
Oh, no, it's Wednesday now.
Oh,
it's
man.
Wednesday.
We're a day off.
We're a day off. Yeah, I know. We had to reschedule. You know, it's had to go pick up the kids or one of the kids from school yesterday because he wasn't feeling too well.
No, man, I get it. I had one stay home with me on Monday.
Man, it's just going around, I guess.
It sure is.
You know?
Yeah.
So, well, happy to be doing this here with you.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful day out. It's like 55 degrees here.
It's supposed to be like high 57 today.
Should be out on the golf course right now, hitting
Yeah.
some balls.
Yeah. Most of them are closed right now.
I know, right?
So,
Or getting out to grill or whatever.
yeah.
If you get a chance, yeah, it's nice. Real nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is, I didn't even wear a coat over today.
I know. I saw that. You should, though. You sound like you got a little bit of cold, too. Though.
You know, man, it's, yeah, I do, but I'll get over it.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad. We need to keep you around a little bit longer.
Yeah,
huh?
okay. There we go.
Yeah. So before we jump in, man, we thought ahead this time.
Man,
we picked a winner
crushing it
from our subscribers that is going to win our 2 new barbecue rubs or flavors, our Shellback Southwest seasoning and our downrange savory BBQ rub. So who is it, Ben?
And our winner this week is Christopher Dixon.
Christopher. Nice.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Congrats.
We'll reach
out to you, and then we'll get your address and we'll ship it to you. I shipped some out earlier this week to some of our past winners, so they should be getting them in the mail. But yeah, so if you want to be entered into our weekly giveaways, you can go over to our website, burnpitbbq.com. You know, enter in, subscribe to our newsletter, and then you'll be automatically entered in. Each week, we're going to be giving away something new this year. This month of February, we're giving away our new rubs, and I don't know what we're going to do in March yet, but we'll be giving away some
we got
some stuff. Yeah, we got some time.
We'll figure it out.
Got about 10 days before we switch it over. So
we'll still have like one more
week of the new flavors. Yeah, but who knows? But
we'll figure it out.
We're giving away stuff all year, so go over to burnpitbbq.com and subscribe to sign up for our newsletter. Don't worry, we don't spam you. We don't sell the list. And even though we've been approached multiple times, we don't sell our list to anybody.
Not here for that.
Not here for that. We're here to help people become better barbecuers and grillers and have a little fun along the way.
And we want to share, our story, our flavors and stuff with you.
Yep.
And we're not here to just kind of pass your information out.
Yeah. So we appreciate that, Christopher. Congrats. We'll reach out to you. Look for your email if you're listening to the podcast. We're watching it on YouTube. But Ben, did you get a chance to get out and grill over the past, week or so?
Yeah, man, I did.
Nice.
Did I tell you I did the twice baked potatoes on the grill?
I think we talked. I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast. I have to go back and listen.
No, I couldn't remember.
We talked about it. I remember you talking about it. I don't know if we did it on the podcast though.
I think we did.
I think we might
have last week. But yeah, I did, man. I finally did the over the top chili.
Nice.
With the brisket.
Nice. With the brisket, yeah.
With the brisket. Oh man.
Went nice cut of meat with that, huh?
It was small. I told you it was
smaller
2-3 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
And not real thick. So it was a good time, man.
Good.
And so my parents were in town. My daughter turned 10 over the weekend.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Double digits. So she was fired up about that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's why she stayed home on Monday. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was partying a little too hard over the weekend.
I don't know, man. One of those things, sure. But I think it was more just like my parents were leaving Monday and she just wanted to stick around and hang out. So
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Well, put her to work.
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
Heck yeah. We're gonna
fill up some sample bags.
Yeah,
huh?
Absolutely.
Put together some sample packs.
Put the stickers on the outside.
Put the stickers on.
Help me out a little bit. Do something.
Hey, it is a family-run business, Ben.
Sure is, man. So, but yeah, so it was her birthday, man, and she loves ribs. It's like I think her favorite food is ribs. So I did the ribs, the single.
Cut them, the individual
ribs. What do we call them? Like rib wings?
Yeah.
What do we say? Rib nuggets?
Riblets, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But no, just the individually sliced ribs where you, instead of cooking them as a rack, you slice them ahead of time. And
Yeah, so it worked out, man. My dad, I'd sent him a picture and told him about it when I did it the last time, and he was like, man, that sounds good. Can we do that when I'm in town?
Oh, yeah?
And so I said, yeah, let's it's a win-win because my daughter loves them so much.
There you go.
So yeah,
and then you get to get out and go, smoke some meats.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was
That's
awesome.
great.
Good time.
Good.
So yeah, I did both of those, but they were good, solid cooks, man. It was good to be out there. I mean, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
like it was
nice.
Oh man, it was awesome. Got a lot of leftovers.
Oh wow.
So
you've been eating good all week, huh?
Eating good all week. Chili. Ribs. You name
Alternated. Got the meat sweats going on.
A little bit of both, little bowl of chili.
A little rib on the side.
Rib on the side. Just let it run.
There you go, man.
Meat.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't go wrong. What about you? Did you get out?
Yeah, man, a couple times. So we were celebrating birthdays all, because it's birthday month here.
Birthday month, yeah. The Fischer household.
The Fischer household.
Holy
so
cow.
we had the family over, and
how many people?
It was about 15.
Oh, geez, okay.
It wasn't too bad. It was a smaller group. So the in-laws, the parents, brother and sister-in-law, and then the kids, their kids. So about 15 total, I'd say, with ours included there. But I
did you try anything new? Like,
I
were
did.
You coming into town like, let's
I
give
did.
this a shot?
New-ish.
Okay.
So I went over to our friends over at Danny's Meats down the road.
Oh,
I just went in there. Well, not yet, Ben.
Here we go.
I like to support local, So I went in there. I was seeing what they had. Of course, this was Saturday morning, and people were coming over Saturday night. So
okay.
So,
man, all right.
Yeah. So I went in there just to check it out, and they were doing like a buy two get one free of the prime rib burgers. So these were half-pound patties, and I was like, all right, I could do that. I wasn't anticipating with the kids and stuff, like everybody eating like a burger. So I got hot dogs and chicken too.
From there?
No, not from there.
Okay.
But so I got like 10 patties. So these are half-pound patties. And I anticipated some of the kids would probably have the hot dogs or something. Well, I was wrong, Ben.
Sure, naturally.
Everybody wanted a burger. So I ran out of burgers. Not everybody got one, which was my fault. I didn't plan ahead, obviously, enough. But
it's more when you're buying the morning of, man.
Yeah, well, again, I anticipated some of our kids, like they just wanted some hot dogs or whatever. So
here's the real question, man. Did you get a burger?
I did not get a burger.
Oh, I figured you would have taken one right off the grill outside.
Nope. I'm a good host. I wait, so I had a chicken.
You continue to surmise me sometimes.
I'll be honest. That's what I'm here for.
I figured for sure you'd be like, dude, these guys
I was like, well, Crosby, my youngest, this is like almost weighs as much as he does. So I was like, he's not going to eat all of it. So, but he ate most of it.
Nice. Okay.
So, but I had a few bites of his, and it was pretty good. Pretty good. They were good. They were great.
All right.
Yeah. So I have prime rib burgers from Danny's Meats.
Would you do them again?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
They were really good. I got a lot of good feedback from everybody that had one.
all the kids.
Yeah, all the kids. So, but everybody was full after that because a half pound's a big burger.
Half pound is a big burger.
So, but then I grilled up some hot dogs, some chicken breasts, and then those are the main dishes.
Did you do it all in the Weber?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So I had my 22-inch one going, and then I had my 18-inch.
Okay.
So I had two of them.
There you go.
So I did the chicken breast and the hot dogs on one, and then I did the patties on the burgers on the other one.
Nice.
Because I smoked the burger patties first.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, so I did some indirect grilling with them where I put half of them on one side because I couldn't fit all 10 on there. They're huge.
Yeah.
So I did indirect grilling where I did with some hickory wood chips. So I used the B&B lump charcoal.
Nice.
Did some hickory wood chips. Yeah. And then, indirect grilled them for about 10 minutes so they get some of that smoke. And then I've moved that batch over right across on top of the coals so they can get that nice fire kiss going. And then I put the other half on the back side so they smoke a little bit while I was finishing up the first side. And then I moved them, over into a pan, covered them up, kept them warm in the oven until it was time to eat. So I cooked them until about their medium.
Yeah, with a crowd like that, it's kind of tough to be like.
Yeah. I mean, they're still nice and pink in the middle. And there's prime rib type of, so it was they're real moist. And I'd definitely do it again. It had a nice hint of smoke flavor to it. Had a nice kiss of the charcoal afterwards, and then I kept them warm so they were nice and warm when people pulled them out. So nice and juicy, a little bit of smoke flavor. So from the few bites that I had, it was really good.
Put cheese on them?
I did not. No.
Okay.
No.
Did all the boys load them up with ketchup?
Yeah,
Mustard?
that would ketchup, mustard, lettuce, cheese. Yeah, we had it all out there for them.
Man, look at you. Okay.
It was, fill up on that stuff because they ain't got no burgers left.
Yeah. Good, man.
Yeah.
It's a productive party.
It was, man. And then yesterday, it was like in the 40s here, and I'm cooking. It's Lent season for church, so we're doing our Lent meals before services on Wednesdays. So I volunteered for the meal tomorrow. Today. Yeah. So it's.
You raised your hand.
Well, like as an elder for the church.
You are an elder.
I am an elder. That our group.
In more ways than one.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
It was our group's turn to provide the meal. So I said, twist my arm. I'll smoke some. I'll smoke some meats for this. So I picked up a couple pork shoulders.
Where'd you get those from, buddy?
Myers.
Okay.
It was buy one get one 50% off.
I feel like they've gotten smaller.
It was about 8 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got 16 pounds. It was about 40 people that I'm anticipating. So they say, at least from what I read, it's like 1 pound per 3 people.
I'm better than that church, man. It's definitely more than a pound.
Well, we'll see, man. Yeah. I haven't been good at anticipating lately, so
seriously.
We're gonna see.
Man, 0 for 2.
We'll see,
Let's
man.
Let's hope not. I hope it goes well for you, man.
Hopefully, I have enough.
The pork's cooked all the way.
It's all the way through, man.
Okay.
It's all
done.
done. Pulled it off at 200, got up to about 203, and then I shredded it after letting it rest for about an hour.
In a cooler in the oven.
In the oven, yeah.
Nice, easy. Simple.
Yeah, man. So real good results so far. Smelled good.
Did you season it or anything?
Yeah, man. It was traditional. So I used some yellow mustard as a binder, and then I used our savory barbecue rub down range.
Okay. I was wondering what you were gonna go with, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna do the fire for effect.
No.
Sweet heat, because man, it just pairs so well.
It does, but this one, our new one, pairs well too. So
it sure does. When you're cooking for the masses, it's tough because you get, this is too spicy.
Yeah. So and then I'll put it out there, and then I'll put some sauces out there so people can sauce it how they want to sauce it. If they want to go spicy, they can. But no, I mean I had a few little pieces of it just to test it out.
What time is church?
So meal is at 5:15.
What time is church?
Church is at 6:30.
Oh, church is after the meal?
Oh yeah.
Man, that's how they get you in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I was
come for the meal, stay for the service.
Be there for 5:15. I'll have to be out by 5:30. I can get to.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, I got a bunch of baked beans left over from previous cooks. Like you still not
previous cooks.
Well, like. For like over the summer, like I bought a bunch of canned beans.
I got you. Okay.
So I was like, should I do that before service? I don't think so.
That's a push, man.
Yeah, I was like,
So you're just coming in with a whole platter full of meat?
Yeah, and then we got people bringing in other stuff too. So yeah, I said I'd do the meat, and then other elders are bringing other dishes and food. So.
Okay. All right, man. I was a little bit. I was like, man.
No, here's just pork.
Platter full of meat.
Just the pork sandwiches.
Well, yeah, I came in your house and you got like 4 bags just full of hamburger buns. Yeah. I was like, stocking up, man.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. You know how it goes. So I was like, all right, let's.
I was excited. So
I'll do the meat, man.
When are we eating?
Yeah, come on in. 5:15.
5:15. Okay.
But so I did that yesterday. It was awesome. 6-7 hour cook.
Yeah.
Did it on the Weber Smoky Mountain. Again, I just used the Minion method.
Sure.
No water pan in there. It stayed really consistent between 225 and 250.
You going no water pan?
No water pan, man. Like I feel like I get more consistent cooks without the water pan in there. I put them both on the top rack. They both fit up there, and I just let it roll, man. And
did you have anything down there to kind of catch any drippings or anything?
No,
like
man.
No, just
let it go.
I kind of like
drip
that too,
onto
man.
the coals,
right? Yeah, and just kind of re-smoke back up. I think we've been kind of reading a lot about that. We talked about that a few times, especially like sitting at events, like this is great. Listen to this, I like that idea.
Yeah. So I know we've talked about pulled pork in the past, and recently I've done a few of them, which it's been real nice and easy to cook, especially on the Weber Smoky Mountain.
Yeah. Like you said too, dude, it sounded like you kept it super simple. You really can. Like it can just be as simple as that, like a binder, And a rub.
A binder, a rub, and then let it go.
Yeah.
I didn't wrap it until it got to about 165-ish because at that point it was getting later in the day. It had already been rolling for 6 hours. And I was like, let's speed it up a little bit. And then shortly after that, within another hour and a half, it was up to temp.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, so if I had some more time, maybe I'd just let it roll. But it wasn't going to catch any more smoke. You know, after that 165, 170 mark, it's not catching much more smoke. It had a beautiful color on it already.
Were you spritzing it all?
Oh yeah, I was using root beer.
Ah,
we talked about it.
Yeah,
we talked
man.
about it, and I had some left over from the party.
Sure.
So I was like,
win, huh?
Yeah, win-win. Yeah. So I was like, let's do the root beer, and it created a nice color.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, create a nice color, and then when I reheat it today, before I take it there, I'll probably put a little bit of root beer in the bottom.
Nice. Okay.
Of the crock pot, so it'll get some of that more flavor and the juices in there.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
to hear how it is.
Me too. Like I had a great flavor, great color to it when I shredded it yesterday. A nice smoke ring. But yeah, I mean, I think I got that one pretty down. Like the pork shoulders, the pork butts, I kind of know where I'm going with it, and now I might just experiment with different flavors. But like as far as the process, like I kind of got that down now. And that only comes with time, it's only been 10, 12 years,
Yeah.
So if you're just starting out on the journey, know that you'll continue to get better over time. But I know you got some questions for today. I want to talk to you more about your over-the-top chili if we got time. But
I've got time.
What I saw recently, though, Ben, is, I'm part of like these meat church groups, like on Facebook.
Yes, I do. I always get excited.
Yeah, so... Finally, I saw it, Ben. I saw a post on this, and the guy was like, I started charcoal, and then I went to pellets, and I've been doing pellets for a few years, but I find that I just can't get the same flavor with a pellet grill that I can with a charcoal. So
put that out there.
He put that out there on this meat church Facebook group, which has a couple hundred thousands of people that are all meat church Traeger folks.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say all, but that's pretty much all I see on there.
A lot, yeah.
And
did he get rocked?
No, man, it was actually pretty supportive. People are like, all the charcoal people finally came out of the woodwork.
Here they come. All right, yeah.
They're like, oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've found that too. Like, we have our competition, during the summer in the, our fundraiser where we raise money. And we consistently see the people that use the charcoal smokers or the wood smokers have the better tasting, at least from what the judges tell us.
We're not the judges.
We're not the judges.
We don't judge it. We don't. We are just out there. So this is not us. We are biased.
We're big charcoal.
Yeah, we use charcoal. I don't have anything.
We don't have any electric,
related,
propane,
nothing at our house,
or pellet. So
we're fans.
We're
big fans.
But we're not opposed to people using whatever they want to use.
Our theory is get out and grill whatever you're using and stuff. We in our minds though, like, you do get the better flavor from it.
It's an art and a science. It's not just like a plug and go type of thing for us. It's kind of a getaway, right? That's why we call this grilling to get away. We want to be able to be part of that process, but we found that like you just don't get the same flavor. And I've tried it. Like I've tried other people's stuff at the competition, because I can go around and sample, and you can come out and you can sample what everybody's cooking. That's part of the competition, is community voting. You get to vote on I will say, man, the ones that do the charcoal or the wood, like usually have a better distinct flavor than just the regular pellet grills. And maybe it's just my preference, and maybe I'm just used to that. But like, I just don't feel you get the same robust flavors as you do it with like a charcoal from using a pellet. And I found that interesting, like because everybody on those pages just uses pellet. Whether it's Traeger, whether it's like Pit Boss or Yoder or whatever.
Tech.
Yeah, but I'm starting to see a little bit more of that too. And I just thought that was interesting. So what do you feel about like,
Man, it's it's one of those things, like, again, like I've never cooked on one,
right?
And so like I can't say anything about it. When we do talk to people, I would say like the people that are the happiest with their grills, and I think we've talked about this before, is the ones that get the Pit Boss.
Yeah.
From just the value, from like the price, the quality, the cooks that they have. It seems to be Pit Boss is like everybody that we talk to.
Yeah.
It loves it.
Yeah.
But flavor wise and stuff, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, I just don't see it. I don't again, like that, and that's why I think we tend to still stick with the kind of the Webers, man, like
Yeah.
a 22-inch Weber. Like, you know, we're doing, like you said too, we've done, you know, turkeys and pork butts and shoulders and
brisket,
like all on this
over the
it's
top
just,
chili.
yeah, and
beer can chicken.
it's, I mean, it is different. Like, it's a different animal, you know, trying to battle the temperatures when it's, you know, like you've done it when it's like -15 out and colder and windy, and you know, I mean, we're in northern or southeastern Wisconsin, but you know, to me, it's just like that's part of the game of it too. Is it's not just like set it and forget it. It's like, okay, well, you know, and that's what a lot of people tell us too. Is like, well, I don't have time to babysit it. And like, all right, cool. Hey, do what you got to do to get out and grill. Like, that's what we support the most.
Yeah.
But for us, I mean, like you talked about, it's part of that. Like, you know, there's just something about it, like kind of sometimes relaxing, sometimes stressful, but like, you know, it's just the game behind it. Like, just enjoying the process of, you know,
what am I going to try today?
Yeah, and like, how's this cook gonna roll? And you just have some of those cooks that are just awesome. It's just some days it's not your day.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if it's like that with those other grills or not. Like, but I would assume it is. But again, I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I see from, you know, just from being in the communities is that, oh, my power went out, you know, or for whatever reason my Traeger shut off in the middle of the night. I was doing a 16-hour brisket.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, how do I get it back up to temp? Or, you know, is this salvageable? Because now you come into play, like if a piece of meat's been sitting at a certain temperature for a while, like you run the risk of getting people sick.
Yeah.
So, you know, within a certain time frame, you have to get that, you know, piece of meat back up. Where if I am, you know, doing something with a charcoal or a wood fire grill or smoker, I know I'm anticipating I'm going to have to routinely check on that, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
Not
setting my
relying on
alarm, not relying on the technology in case something happens.
You were
like,
it.
I am the one that's physically going out and checking and making sure, you know, sure, I use some of these things like the Bluetooth, you know, wireless thermometers and stuff like that. But even that, like, I'm in my house and I lose range. I'm like, my grill is, you know, 20 feet away, and like I've got this other piece that's, you know, 10 feet away from me. It's not connecting to that anymore. Like, so I have to routinely check to make sure, you know, I can't just leave it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Like, I saw that, and I've heard that a few times now recently, which has been cool, that people are kind of went to the pellets, but they're coming back. But yeah, the same token, people are going to pellets because of the ease and convenient, and they're getting older and they're like, I don't have time, or I just don't want to be out there and doing that, you know, checking on the charcoal and the, you know, the temperatures all the time. So yeah, I get it both ways, but I just was refreshing to see that, you know, when we're in the world where everybody's just pellet, that, you know, some people are saying, hey, I think I'm going to go back to old school kind of charcoal.
And it's funny too, man, like how often are we out at events and, you know, we'll ask you like, oh, are you cooking anything this weekend? And they'll show us their phone. They'll show us their phone, be like, oh yeah, I've got a pork shoulder on there right now. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, oh, cool, man. Like, hey, good for you. Good. You know,
to the cloud. It all goes to the cloud.
Yeah, man. No, it's good to see though. I mean, I think that's part, to me, that's the fun behind it.
Yeah. I mean, for us,
that's why, how we got intrigued by it, right? Like, it was just like another, I don't know, almost like a competitive drive to be like, oh, I'm going to cook this on this size grill with, you know, these bricks or something, you know, I don't know.
Well, I think it's that mentality too, that we knew that it was going to take time to learn. So we weren't going to, you know, this wasn't like a short-term thing. Like, oh, I suck at this, I'm going to give up. It's like, okay, this is a challenge. Yeah. This was a terrible cook, and now I'm going to beat you type of thing. Right. Yeah. So I'm going to get better, and I'm going to be better. And, but no, I thought it was interesting, that I saw that, and it was recent, that, hey, it made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah. Did he say what type of grill he was going back
He was asking what other people, you know. Sure. So he, like, getting back into the charcoal game, he was like, all right. He was like, what, you know, what is everybody else using? You know,
what did you see the most, man?
A lot of Weber. Okay. Some of those, there's some heavy duty offset smokers too. Like, I know Char Griller makes Yoder makes some, I think. There are some other ones that people mentioned, but these are kind of more heavy duty ones. Yeah. There's a lot of those kind of like almost like hidden gems. Yeah. I mean, you go down to Texas, I mean, and I see them all the time. Like, they got these open pits and things like that. These big metal steel ones. So I don't think he was looking for something like that. I think he was looking for something for the backyard. And
Mm-hmm.
but we always recommend the Weber's to start off with. Cheap, easy. You can find them everywhere.
Holds temp, man.
Holds temp.
They're
well made.
Yeah, it's affordable.
Yeah.
Start
there, then move your way up if you like to do that.
Mm.
But man, I could do just about anything on the Weber's I got.
Yeah, right. I'm with you.
Yeah. I love the Smoky Mountain, man. I use that all the time for the longer cooks. So if you're thinking about getting back into the charcoal game, Weber Smoky Mountain, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm with you. The big, what is it, the Komodo or whatever?
Yeah.
Cool, man. That thing.
The ranch. The ranch.
Yeah.
26
I price that up all the time. I'm looking at it like,
woo. It's like 1,200, isn't it?
Gosh, something like that. I think it might be more, like 2,400 or something.
Yeah, that's like where you need like 2 people to lift the lid off.
Yeah. Oh, Greg.
One day, Ben.
Yeah, now we're talking.
It's for the business. Business expense.
We each need one, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, well, what do you got? You got anything you want to talk about?
Oh, man, so just a few things that kind of happened over the last like week or two that I've been meaning to talk to you about real quick.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. Like we had one guy who reached out. He had ordered a sample pack, and then he came around and ordered a second one. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like, we sent you a free sample one. Because it was like within a week.
Yeah.
He put a message in there, man.
I remember this.
His dog ate
his dog got hold of it.
And he said he was bummed, but he's like, well, it must be good because my dog approved.
Yeah.
So dog approved.
Dog approved.
Put that on the website, Greg.
I will. Yeah.
It's, but yeah, he was like, yeah, my dog. It's like I was real bummed because I was really looking forward to it.
Hey, well,
came in and ate it.
Yeah, we can't. We'll put a disclaimer on the packages from now. Keep out of reach of dogs.
And maybe, yeah, I guess. That'd be it all.
Dogs got good taste.
Yeah, good for him. Go. So, I thought that was funny. Man, I was talking to my son yesterday, and he's like, "Dad, we watched you in school the other day." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "So, we had some free time, and on the their big like smart boards that they have now is like our teachers asked us for something, and I don't even know, but they pulled up YouTube, and she goes,
that's not good.
He goes, well, we watched you on YouTube. I was like, what was I doing? He goes, oh, I don't know, Dad. And I was like, well, you're finally learning something in school, huh? Learning something good. And I was like, why did she let you? He's like, I don't know. She wanted to watch it. So my son mentioned that we're on YouTube. They pulled it up.
Oh yeah,
and watched us on. Yeah. So I don't know if they watched like a full. I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah.
They should be doing something else in school besides watching.
No. Well, I was like, learning something finally in school, huh, buddy?
So they pulled up the podcast, huh? On
something, yeah. I don't know.
Of our videos on YouTube. Huh?
Pulled up a video.
Hopefully, it wasn't the one where we're, reviewing our buddy's Bloody Mary mix, like our first video we put out there.
You know what? It is what it is. So it's but yeah, so maybe that's a new angle. We're making it into schools. And then,
school friendly. I don't know if that's true.
Man, it could be worse.
I need to have some. All right, well,
it could be worse.
Hey kids, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Stay
in school.
Funny. Yeah. Here, school's for fools. No, man, I don't.
That's awesome, man.
But
you should ask. You should get more information about this. So
I tried, man. He didn't know what we were doing. I was like, did you watch?
Teacher?
No, man. Oh. I know. He just told me about this yesterday.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And he told me it was like last week. It's like, why didn't you tell me? All right, well,
that's weird.
That's what I said.
Okay, well,
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Well, we're starting to make a name for ourselves around the area, Ben.
I guess. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad,
I don't know either,
both of our kids go to this school.
They go to the same school.
So
I know my son talks to his teachers about what we do, so I don't know if that so it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, man.
All right, well, I guess we're going to have to keep these PG for, try to.
I mean,
watch them at school.
Bad. Are they that bad?
No, they're not.
Okay.
But, well, thanks for sharing. That's interesting. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Now we can put that on our resumes.
Again, add that to it. School teacher.
Educational instructors for, K through 5.
Right, man. I mean, just add it to the list.
Add it to the list.
Pet friendly.
Pet friendly.
Teacher of the young students.
Yeah, teachers, influencers,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. And then lastly, I've been excited to talk to you about this. I keep forgetting, but I talked to a guy when I was up in Green Bay at the home show.
Okay.
And he was doing the carnivore diet.
All right. Mixed things about the carnivore diet, you know.
Yeah. And
so carnivore diet is where you can only eat meat, right? Animal meat and fats.
Yep.
Okay.
I think he did eggs too.
Yeah.
He included eggs.
Yeah, animal based.
But yeah, it was only meats. He said he dropped like I think 30 pounds like in the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
Since then it's kind of leveled out a bit.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
He said like his energy levels, like he doesn't feel like it's real high, but it's not like real low either. It's like it's just kind of more consistent, I guess.
Okay.
He said he misses pizza.
All right.
Once in a while, he's like, "Man, I wish I could have a pizza." And then he's like, "It's a lot harder too, right?" Because like I was like, "Dang, that's a lot of like." I mean, prepping meat takes a bit sometimes. It does. Like, depends on what you're doing, but like that's a lot of like kind of planning ahead and stuff too. Like,
yeah, you gotta make sure you're getting quality.
Exactly.
Meats, right. So
well, and like different cuts of meats, you eat different proteins and different, you know, I mean, different vitamins from stuff too.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. So, was he looking for seasonings and stuff, or was he?
I talked to him about some stuff. Yeah,
but he was just wanting to share with you that he was doing the carnivore.
He just came and he started talking to me about it and stuff.
How long has he been doing it for?
Like 3 months now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of where I nerd out a little bit. Like, I love this. Like the gut and the brain and our like how we became to be like where we're at, especially in America here. So like the carnivore diet is essentially, you know, you're replacing a lot of the refined carbohydrates and things like that with just meat, and you know the meat is more dense, obviously, so it keeps you fuller, and then like your brain feels you're full, and it keeps you fuller for a longer time.
That's what he said too.
So you're actually eating less.
Yep.
Like, so you're eating more high calorie, like dense calories, which keep you fuller longer, as opposed to like these refined carbohydrates, which really just go right through you. So like, you can eat like 10,000 calories of pizza, and 10,000 is quite, but like 2,000 calories of pizza is like, you know, a couple pieces, and you know, be hungry in a few hours, where you can eat 2,000 calories of a steak and be full all day.
Yeah. So
it's the density of the calories and the makeups of the calories. So I think there's a fine balance, you know, I think we're all omnivores for a reason, because, you know, our ancestors had to find things in different seasons. So, you know, plants, beans, berries, in addition to the meats and the fats that we're getting from animals.
He told me too, man. He was like, one night I was like, you know, I got home late from work, and like I was hungry. I had to make something, and I didn't have time to really do something big. He goes, so I made a pound of bacon.
Okay. I
was like, all right, just a pound of bacon. And he goes, yeah. He goes, and bacon's good for you too. So
well,
in moderation.
Depends.
Yeah. You know? But no, it was hilarious, man. Like, I was just like, I had a lot of questions for him.
Sure.
But and like I think he was a vendor too.
Yeah.
So we had much time to sit and talk. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, I gotta talk to Greg about this.
I mean, that's one extreme. Obviously, the other extreme is veganism, where you don't eat any meat and you just eat, you know, plants and things like that. I think we were born and made to do both, within moderation. You know, so again,
kind of a healthy mix,
right?
You know?
So, you know, you look at the Mediterranean diet, which is kind of what I think the people who live the longest and have the healthiest lifestyles, from a weight perspective, obesity, plus also depression, anxiety, like mental health, where they are kind of primarily, you know, animal fats, you know, high, get their fats from nuts and, you know, animals, but they are primarily plant and, you know, legume based, so beans and stuff. They maybe get, you know, 10% of their, you know, protein from animals, and then a lot of it's from, you know, fish and things like that. So I think we're made for both. You know, obviously here in America, we do the extremes, you know.
Greg.
So a pound of bacon, you know, sure. Yes, it's technically like keto because it's, you know, there's no carbohydrates in it. But again, you got to know where that's coming from. You know, when you get highly processed meats from these, you know, industrial meat farms where they're feeding it, you know, just corn and grain, and they're in these high stress environments filled with antibiotics, just pump to the gills so they can produce more milk or dairy or meat. That's not good for you either. So that's why we always promote locally sourced, humanely raised, open field raised, cattle, beef, and pigs and chickens and free range chickens and stuff like that. So we try and do as much of that as possible. We know it's not always entirely feasible, but when you start making those connections on long-term health and longevity and some of the diseases that we see, our food plays a huge role in it. So I hope he does well with his carnivore diet, but I think those types of things are made for moderations where you can do it for 3 months and then, go back a little bit to the other way, as long as you're not, I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you think that's going to be your life for your entire life. So that's my 2 cents there.
Could you do that, man?
I could.
Just straight meat?
Yeah, I could for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But then I've come to realize no diet is meant to be lifelong unless you're doing it as a lifestyle. So veganism isn't meant for your entire life. I mean, you could. I don't think you're going to be the healthiest. Carnivore is, you could do that for your entire life, but I don't think it's the healthiest. I think it's a balance of in between. So my two cents. I kind of nerd out on that stuff, and I like reading and learning about that. Yeah. So that's a lot where we come into play too. Is I think we're very different from the traditional barbecue influencers out there that just use butter and sugar and salt and everything that they do. Where we kind of approach it as more of a, those are good for certain things, but when we're feeding our families, we have to look at trying to do it in a little bit more healthier, sustainable model and way. So, but that gets me into another point of influencers and things on YouTube.
There we go. I'm excited.
So I posted a question on our Instagram and our Facebook page about, let's help the new grillers and barbecuers out. What are your go-to barbecue essentials, like tools and accessories? Okay. A lot of people posted the instant ring thermometers, the grilling gloves, the chimney. You have a few wise asses, a grill, that kind of stuff.
There we go. Nice.
But assuming you already have that out of the way, but some people said your mind, right? So being willing to learn and stuff like that, which I get. Yeah, that's totally, you're always learning and growing. But one comment was, not taking everybody's advice from Instagram, but more so YouTube. I was like, okay, that's interesting, because I feel YouTube is kind of the same way, where anybody can make a video, anybody can post anything on Instagram, So what is your take on that piece? In an age where everybody can be an influencer or thinks they're an influencer, and us included, right? We put a lot of content out there. But just that aspect of YouTube is better than Instagram for gaining knowledge or learning about barbecue and grilling. That's kind of what the takeaway was from that comment that I got.
YouTube is better?
Yeah, because there's people on there that, post videos that know more about what they're talking about than some people in the comments of a random post on Instagram.
Man, I think it all depends on who's providing the information. Right?
Exactly.
And I mean, that's my take on it. I don't necessarily think one is going to be, I mean, sometimes I don't think any of them are good.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what I'm looking for and what I want, but a lot depends on who it's coming from.
Sure.
You know, and and for me too, I don't always go out on any of them.
Right.
To check it out. I'll just kind of maybe try and and check out one of my books and kind of get some information from that. I don't know. I'll text you a lot. You and I talk a lot about
right.
Hey, what do you think of this, man? If I tried this, how do you think it would go? So I think it's more trial and error for ourselves rather than just I'm not going out to find necessarily somebody else's opinion right away. It's I kind of like to form my own opinion on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's again, that goes back to the fun of it, right? That's the whole point, is trying to learn. And I think that's kind of how you and I got to this point, was just learning. I mean,
yeah.
I don't remember when we were starting going out to YouTube, and it was around then, it was good.
Yeah,
it was popular.
we're talking 10, 12 years ago, right?
Yeah, even Facebook and stuff had its groups, but I don't remember leaning into either one of those often at all.
No, man. I was watching my buddy Steve Reichlin on PBS.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I had him on repeat. Just kind of, that's how I learned. I was like, okay, stop, go back, watch it again. Like I would every time it came on TV, I was watching that. But now you can go out to YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But
sure, I think there's like some ease to that, obviously. I think, but it comes back to like a lot of like, you know, and when I do watch those, I don't go into it like I take ideas from it.
Yeah.
But I don't copy exactly
Right.
what they do either, because I know it's how I do. It's not going to come out the same way that they did it
Yeah.
either.
And I think that's a fair point. Like when you've been doing it for a while, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're first starting, it's good to just copy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can figure out and adjust along the way.
But even a lot of those are edited too, right, man? Like,
Oh, yeah,
they're not
like-
showing you their trash cooks.
I think I was listening to another podcast. It was an influencer. It was pretty popular. He said like those 7-minute clips that you see on YouTube, like those take 4 hours to make.
I'm sure.
So they obviously condense it down.
Yeah.
But there's so many nuances in there too. Like when you're doing a 4 or 5 hour cook, you know, there's so many little things that you cannot put into that
Mm-hmm.
you know video that you're showing to try and go viral or get people to watch it. So I mean I do find value in, you know, learning from other people, like in the comment sections. I especially because I love to see what other people are doing and
what they say.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, I think to me, like, that's where you find some of that information.
those nuggets, man. Like, hey, I use this instead of this and it turned out really well.
Yeah.
Like even when I go look at other people's recipes on websites,
Mm-hmm.
once I look at the recipe, I go
You
down
look
to
at
the
the
comments.
Heck yeah, man.
Who changed what? What did they do?
Why? And like most of the time, they're willing to tell you
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
There's like, well, I use this because of, you know, or I tried this the first time. If I did it again, I would do this.
Yeah. Or I did it just as they said and it turned out this way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and a lot of people prefer one platform or over the other. So like the people on Instagram might not be over on YouTube and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, I pushed back a little bit and I said, I think YouTube's kind of the same way. I find so much value in the people that don't like put content out there, like the meat churches or the Heath Riles or whatever. Like there are a lot of good backyard cooks that
there's some great backyard cooks, man.
don't have their own channels or don't have their own pages.
They do it,
but they just follow and they share their wisdom when they feel like it's, you know, warranted or whatever.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of value in that. So I thought that was interesting. Like somebody would come out and say, you know, as opposed to like, you know, sharing knowledge or sharing what, you know, the question was, would just like, well, people should go over to YouTube to people who actually, you know, do this as for a living or whatever, as opposed to, you know, like people commenting on Instagram. I was like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, especially too, I mean, I'd say you're probably starting to get probably a much younger crowd out on Instagram than YouTube, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
different audience.
Different audience, and maybe even a different way of doing things too, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't say like, I mean, you can find different things out on both. I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking for, but I don't know, man. I mean, I think with both of them, you kind of take it with a grain of salt, and you still have to do put your own twist to it, and because they're only showing you so much. You know, the ones that when I have gone out there and stuff, it always seems so simple.
Mm-hmm.
It always, you know, it's like, oh, just do this, and it turns out like this, and no, I don't think so, man. Like, you got to do other things as well.
Yeah,
and you know, I mean, I think it's more like it's like a baseline, right, man?
Right.
Like you go out there and you can kind of see and get a feel for stuff, but at the same time, then it's up to you.
Right. You gotta go learn. You gotta go take action and do it. Just like with everything in life. So, like we keep it pretty down and dirty. Like even when we put blogs out and recipes on our blogs, like this is the process, man. Follow the process.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes, and you know if you feel like you need to change something, let us know. But we try and keep it as simple as possible. You know, get your grill or smoker to this temperature, because we don't want to put so much in there where it just like takes up 10 pages, right? You have to go and learn the process, you know. So we'll give you the baseline, like, but then it's up to you to kind of figure out the nuances of your own cooking and your own all the equipment that you have, as opposed to trying to pinpoint every single thing.
One, like I tell you too, man, like I struggle with following the recipes. It's just not who I am.
Right.
Like I don't like measure. Like even when I make stuff, like I hate measuring. It's just like, oh, this feels right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this and just see where it goes.
Right.
And
you learn and you adjust.
Yeah. And it's like I don't even know, man, how many times I'm always like, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Like how often do you say that?
I've gotten to my pork butts where the process I wouldn't change
the process,
much,
sure, but like
I'll experiment with flavors,
exactly,
and injections and different type of binders and seasonings and rubs. Like, yeah, for sure, and even how I serve it, and what size to go with it. But yeah, so I mean, there's so many different ways to do so many different types of cooks. Like, you'll never, like, I won't say never, but it's very rare that every single cook is going to be exactly the same for the rest of my life.
Well, and like you said too, like the equipment, man, like we got into, charcoal versus pellets and stuff like that. I mean, and there's a lot of videos out there for both. And I mean, I take stuff off of like, pellet guys who use pellet pellet smokers and stuff like that all the time. Like, okay, well that's your temp. Okay, that makes sense. That's your recipe and stuff. Like, awesome. I like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, just different techniques and flavors. You can learn from just about anything from anybody. So I just thought that was interesting. So wanted to get your take on it. So it sounds like we're kind of aligned where you can learn from anybody. Everybody's got value, not just because they have a bunch of followers on YouTube that they have, the only information or the best information. Like, I think they would probably agree too. Like, we learn just as much from talking to people at events than we do, online looking at people's videos, So there's just so much knowledge out there that other people have. I think you are short-sighted if you're just saying, hey, you can only learn from these people or this platform over here and not these people over here because they don't, have a big following or a page where they share it constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'll be honest. Like, my dad was over Saturday and we got 3 racks of ribs to do for the, and man, I was pulling the membranes off and I was telling him, I was like, Dad, I watched this video the other day. I think it was on like Facebook. And this guy, he was prepping for like a competition and he literally just like kind of took a butter knife, got it underneath there, had a paper towel and was just straight, rib like rack after rack after rack. And I'm sitting there for like 5-10 minutes on one flipping rack, and it's not peeling off nicely. I'm like, this is not real. Like, how do you? So it just,
where's he getting this from?
I was like, what the hell is that? So, man, I don't know. Like, I just like laughed at laugh at my dad about it and stuff. And it's like, I'm not mad. Good for you if you can do it like that. Like, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. No, man. Like, that's always a challenge.
Always. It always makes me so
get the
mad.
membrane off.
Yeah.
Well, go look on YouTube, see if you can find it.
Stop, man. Don't even get me started.
All right, man. Well, we're kind of running late here on this one, so I don't want to talk about the over the top because I want to give it enough time. Maybe we could talk about that one next time. Your over the top brisket chili.
Did I send you a picture of it? I thought
you did not. So,
oh man, sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll talk about that one next time.
Okay.
Anything you got coming up this week?
Man, so I talked to my wife about doing like a goulash.
Oh, okay.
My dad got a deer this year, so he had some venison.
Okay.
So I was thinking about doing something with some of the venison, maybe like a goulash or something. I don't know. My wife gets weird about the venison sometimes, so we'll see how. I might not tell her.
All right, sneak it in there.
That's always a good plan.
That's way to our heart.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe something like that. I still got that pork hock staring at me.
Yep.
I haven't. I know it's nice out, but like I said, we still got a lot of leftovers, so I'm kind of just enjoying these leftovers a bit. We'll see. I mean, it's supposed to be nice this weekend, but we'll be out and about. So I'm not sure. I don't know yet. It might be just kind of a game time decision. Just grab and go and
all right,
feel out. What about you?
I don't have anything planned right now.
Yeah.
We just got the cow in, so now we're fully stocked with beef. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of steaks, a lot of roasts.
A lot of great options.
But no, yeah, we're going to be out. We're going to be out in Madison this weekend for the Wisconsin Fishing Expo, booth L9. So come out and see us. Otherwise,